Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Inside the Den. Today we're going to take a look at Bright Shadow, and this is a free-to-play anime fantasy MMORPG. Let's get started. As you can see, I am playing in the US and the game did recently update. It actually did a big update which did a lot of things. It increased the number of monsters that you can tame, we'll get into that. It also increased the level maximum up to 80. All kinds of different stuff, but we'll get into some of that stuff. But let's get started. As you can see, we've got one server, so let's go ahead and select our server and confirm. Get into the character creation. Now, I am going to do this a little bit different. I'm going to create one character to show you guys the character creation, but then I'm actually going to log into a different character and show you guys a little bit deeper into the game, because it gives me the ability to show you guys a little more. So let's go ahead and let's change it to female. And let's go with our usual. There we go. Let's check, make sure it's available. You can use this name. All right. So now all characters start off, you notice I don't have a class selection. So they all start off as just a novice character or unclassed. And you rather rapidly at level 10, you move on to your first job advancement. In your first job advancement, you have the ability to choose a warrior, a mage, a shaman, or a machinist, which the machinist is kind of your thief, rogue. It's kind of a cross between a bunch of different stuff. Your shaman is your healer, your mage is your ranged DPS, and your warrior, of course, is your up-close DPS. Each having their own skills and stuff like that. But let's get through this character creation process. Now we can choose from some of these kind of standard customization. We can go through randomize a few times and see some things pop up and get some different things like that. Or we can customize and we can look at different faces. We can look at different, we can rotate her around, see what's going on here. We can look at skin color. We can look at hair type. And we've got hair color. So we've got a few different options. And then we can go with eye color. We're just going to change this up a little bit. Unfortunately, we can't scroll around just by using our mouse. So we're going to go ahead and hit confirm. And there we go. Don't forget to input your PIN. I don't really care if you guys see this, so let's input and let's go with 2244. Confirm, and we need to re-input it. 2244. Confirm. So confirm, and there we go. We've entered our PIN, and we're off and running. I hope. Let's see. There we go. So there's our character. As you can see here, you get one free character that you get to choose, and then the rest of these are locked. So if you want any additional characters, you're going to have to add a slot by actually using the game's premium currency, the bean points, to actually open up these additional slots and be able to create separate characters. But that's the end of the character creation. So now I'm going to log in with my other character and show you guys a little bit deeper into the game. It also gives me the ability to show you guys the job advancements, job skills, and stuff like that. So I will log in and I will be right back. Alright, so we're back, and just like that, I got a whole bunch of armor and a sex change operation, and I'm now playing my other character, which is a male warrior, level 14. So let's go ahead and jump into the game so I can start showing you guys some different stuff. Now, as this loads up, I want to tell you that I had some issues with actually getting the game to start and actually getting the game to load up and all that stuff. I actually think that Game Mania, who's the company that publishes the game, makes you jump through too many hoops to get into the game. It's not overly complicated, but the problem is if it doesn't work, there's too many moving parts that make it to where, okay, which one of these moving parts is not exactly working. So I did have a little bit of issues. I was able to go to the forums and figure out my way through it, but it did take a little bit of work. So if you're having some of those similar issues, just go to the forums, post what issues you're having, and you'll probably find your answer pretty quick. So as you can see, we're actually in one of the ladder areas. Once you reach about level 10, you'll do your first job change. You'll complete the quests in the beginner area. Now we're actually going to we're going to run back to that beginner area real quick because I want to show you guys some stuff. Now once you get to these other areas, you can go back to the beginner area very easily just by using these preachers who will teleport you all over the place. Now here we are in the beginner area. Now one thing you may notice is I can't use WASD. I have to point and click. Now that's real easily solved. You can go right into options and you can go down here and turn on WASD. So now all of a sudden I can move around with WASD no problem. So If you're looking for that and you think, oh, you know what, this sucks, I can't WASD, it's really easy in the options. I know in previous games I've missed it, so I found it in this one and decided that, you know what, you guys need to know about it. Now, all of these instructors that you're going to see here when you first start the game will have quests. I highly recommend you run through them. They don't take very long. And what's actually cool about the game is you have multiple options when you're answering questions and answering things with the NPCs, so it actually becomes a little bit of role playing and stuff like that. So there's a little bit of a storyline piece to all of that. But pretty much once you get through all of these instructors, you'll be about level 5 right out of the bat, or right out of the gate. So not right off the bat or right out of the gate, whichever one you choose. Now, one thing I can also mention is that, as you can see, I am part of a guild. Now, let's bring up the skills real quick. So, starting off as a novice, this is where you start off. You don't have any classes. You don't have the first, second, third class, or guild or mentorship. They do give you the opportunity to choose a bunch of different skills and play around with different ones. You've got Smash, you've got Divine Light, you've got Soul Shift, which is basically a healing. This is a single enemy range DPS. This is up close DPS. And then you've got a few other skills in here that you can use. I'm going to go through this little portal here real quick. I'm going to keep talking about this stuff so you can fake your death. They give you kind of a wide variety of skills so you can kind of play with them before you reach your first job class. Now, one thing that I would highly recommend is when you do look to play the game, think ahead about exactly which class that you want to play, and I'll tell you why. When you get into your character data, every time you level up, you're going to get points that you're going to be able to add to your maximum points down here. Now, unfortunately, I thought, you know what, I might want to be a mage, and I wasn't sure, maybe the game gives me a reset at level 10 when I get my first job. You know, a lot of games do that, but it didn't do that. So unfortunately, I have a bunch of points in intelligence. It's not awful, but it'd be real nice right now to have those points in strength and constitution. That would give me increased defense and maximum hit points, and in strength, which increase my damage and also my weight capacity, especially since that's more along the lines of what a warrior needs. So just take and pay attention. Think a little bit ahead about which class you want to play. It looks like we're kind of bugging out a little bit because of fraps. That should fix itself here in a second. But just like I said, think ahead a little bit about which class you want to play. Play around with the skills. You can see I've got the different skills here down the bottom, already in my hotbar. You can very easily use those. Now I'm going to hit F1, and I'm going to show you guys that they are a bit easy to use, but this game isn't your typical, if I just target this creature, I'll just swing at him and wail on him, he'll drop his fruit jello, and I'll pick it up. Now, if I want to use my skill, I actually have to initiate that skill first and then click on the monster. So it's a little bit different, and if you're taking and you're running around and doing different skills, I'm going to do a bunch of different ones for you guys right now. There are my 2 melee ones. If you're running around and using a bunch of different skills, then you're going to want to make sure that you have the ability to target your enemy, because if you're up close, you know, we can zoom in real close. So if you want to be real nice and close to your character, it can make it very difficult to actually target the enemy when you're using skills. So it's not an awful system, but it can have some limitations and some things that you want to take and pay attention to, so you're actually able to use the interface properly. Now you see I just killed that guy and he dropped a bunch of orbs. Now as I get close, I'm going to go pick up those orbs. And the big orbs that you want to pay attention to are the green ones. Because the big thing that goes on in this game is not only do you have health, not only do you have spell points, but you also, or actually mana, but you also have these skill points, and then you also have these burst points. So as I kill different monsters, I'm getting different points of each thing. Now not only am I getting that, but it's also dropping loot. So you can see I'm gaining skill points as I'm killing these guys. Now the reason that becomes very important is because, like for example, this skill right here, which is my serious boost, which is essentially a guild skill that I get, but it allows me to take and increase my movement speed for 120 seconds. Now the key there is that I actually have to have not only 100 mana to cast that, but I also need 300 skill points. So it's important that you continue to fight monsters and get skill points so you can actually take and use those skills. Now the rest of these skills are pretty much going to be mana based, except for, like, you've got the Soul Shift, which is a healing, which requires some mana and some skill points. And most of these require very few skill points, but as you're using them, you're going to get most of the skill points back from the monsters that you kill. But it's just another thing that you have to be aware of while you're playing your character. Now the burst points becomes even much more different, because what you do is occasionally you'll find these purple orbs as you kill a monster. And once you get 5 of those purple orbs and fill up all these burst points, you're going to have an additional buff skill that's going to show up right in this spot right here, right down at the bottom, right to the left of your hotkey. And when you want to use that, I highly recommend you use it when you're going to fight bosses or battles that you're going to take and have difficulty with. When you want to use that, you're just going to click on it, and it's going to increase everything from your hit points to your damage to your armor, all kinds of speed, all kinds of different stuff. So it comes in very helpful, especially when you're trying to complete certain quests that require you to kill a or a few monsters that are above your level or a little bit more difficult. Now, one of the things that you may see is you may be seeing some of these other characters running around. They've got a little monster tagging along behind them. I haven't been paying total attention because I've been looking at different stuff, but you guys may have seen that. I'm actually trying to find another one right now so I can make sure to see it. Actually, it'll be just easier if I bring out mine. Now, as you kill monsters, they're going to drop different cards. And as you collect those cards, then once you have enough cards to summon those monsters, you can summon these monsters to come and help you in battle. Now, you can see I only have 1 card of each of these guys, so I really can't use them. But I'm going to go over here and I'm going to summon this guy, Little Franken. So you can hide, once you bring him up and you're in the content, you can take, and you can see there's tons of pages of all the different monsters that are going to be available. You even have some of these different guys, like this Cat Angel, which it actually looks like this is one that was given to me. It looks like this is just a collector. It doesn't look like I can even summon him, or maybe I just need more cards to be able to summon him. But let's go back to the content, and let's go back. But you can see there's tons of monsters that you can collect. So let's get back to the guys that so I've got 1 Chucky, I've got some Flyman, I've got a Swamp Dragon, little Water Drop. Let's bring out something interesting. A Demonic Mirror, nope. Slime Pudding, that's not too interesting. Where's that little, there he is, the Little Franken. So you can take and you can evaluate exactly what kind of monster you want to bring out and have help you. Now we're going to quick summon him, bring him out, and we're going to cruise. We're actually in a little dungeon here. Now once you get in here, there's going to be a bunch of quests. But you're also going to want to take and pick up all these different guys. They each have their own uses. Now later on in the game, you're going to be able to access additional monsters that you don't necessarily have to kill and collect the cards from, because there are card vendors. So that all becomes part of the process. And there's another guy. See, he's got this Cursed Sword, level 20. And I can't see what level he is. But either way, what level is he? He's level 9. So I'm not sure if he actually bought the sword, or if it was part of some event or something along those lines, because I haven't seen the sword and I haven't actually gone into the item vault. But we can go in there and we can see if there's any of those things. So gotcha set, no, others, cart, pet mount. So it looks like you've got some mounts in here that you can pick up and ride around on and do. You've got a Santa sled, which is kind of interesting. Consumables, equipment, function. I don't actually see any actual pets that you could pick up or any of the cards that you could pick up, but you may be able to purchase those from some of the vendors and stuff like that. But additionally, the other thing that you want to pay attention to is the gear. As you pick up different gear, you're going to find out that it's only usable by the different classes. So you're going to take, and that one is actually usable by anyone, but let's bring up something else. So you're going to be able to right-click on them, and of course, I keep bringing up the ones that don't have anything. So let's bring up this one. I know it has a difference. So you can see job restriction. So this is restricted to the Shaman, the Illusionist, the Mystic, and I can't remember what all of these are. But you can see there's just tons of different classes that you can pick up and become. As you can see right here, you start off as this one, the Novice, and then you can go to the Warrior, the Mage, the Shaman, or the Machinist, and then you've got all kinds of additional ones that you can progress onto, which is kind of cool if you ask me. You also don't have a auction house system. You have a player store system. So you're going to take, and let's go look at our skills. So there's our Novice skills. As you get into your first class, that's when you're going to open up and have the ability to use My Shop. So you're going to want to, that becomes one of your first things that you're going to want to take and pick up once you reach level 10 and hit your first job advancement. You're going to want to take and pick up My Shop. Now this is one of the preachers you may have saw. I used the other one to teleport back to the other area. We're going to use this one to teleport back to the Meteor Pit. this is kind of a gathering place that a lot of people congregate in. So this will give a great opportunity for you guys to be able to see a lot more people and a lot more monsters. You can see like this guy's got this three-headed dog type thing. That guy's got some fish floating around. You can see people on their different mounts. You can see player stores. There's all kinds of different stuff going on here. But you know what? Let's head outside and let's see if we can find some stuff that's a little bit more difficult for me to fight, and see if I can't get up some of these little burst points and actually take and show you guys how that burst works before I have to take off. So these loading screens are always cool. Graphically, the game is exactly what it touts it's going to be. It's cel-shaded, anime style. It's not meant to be, you know, this ultra realistic thing. So don't expect that if you're going into the game. So let's go ahead and let's take out this Shocky. So you can see here my little guy's cruising up, but I actually killed him before my little guy, even my little Franken actually got a chance to attack. So that's one of the nice things about the Warriors. You do have pretty high DPS, and actually once I reach level 17, I'm going to have even higher DPS because I've got a sword sitting in my backpack that I actually can't wait to use. So let's take out this flesh-wounded man. No, maybe we can't. I can't seem to target him. He can seem to target me though. So once again, you can see I'm using my skills. I'm also using just the auto attack. The auto attack is real simple to use. Basically, as soon as you click on the monster, and you can see right there I got a bronze sword. Let's see if I can actually use it. So bronze sword, 80. It's got +1. Let's see what I'm actually using. Bronze sword. So it's a little bit better than what I'm using. So I'm gonna go ahead and equip that. You just do a little drag and drop. You can also take and left click the item that you want to equip, and it'll go ahead and equip just as easily that way. Now, interestingly enough, the game starts you off with these 2 bags, and that's it. You do get these rucksacks or these backpacks, but that's pretty much just it's a parts bag, but it's actually a buff. So you can see I get maximum hit points, increased defense, and stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting, the bags. And then here you see I have weight, which is an interesting statistic that you don't normally see in a lot of games. And so you have to actually monitor all the things you pick up, because you can actually get overweight. Now, I personally don't like that system because you get overweight and it slows you down. It seems like just one of those added hurdles that seems unnecessary, but it's there, and it's one of those things that you're going to want to pay attention to. So you can see right there I just obtained a flesh wound card for this flesh wounded man. Now we can go back down into here and we can look in our Umbra guide, go back to contents, and let's find this flesh wounded man. So there he is, level 13. Although he's only sustained a flesh wound, it died due to a curse. He was then resurrected via necromancy. The bandage that covers him is inscribed with spells. So we can either quick summon him, which we want to replace our current Umbra. So yes, even though that didn't work. I think it didn't work. It didn't work because I don't have enough cards. So let's look at his statistics. So you can see melee damage, he does 31. He's got a magic attack power of 33. And he's got magic defense +2 and all of that good stuff. So you always want to take and be wary of exactly which type of monster you're fighting and using and attacking. And that guy actually looks like he probably is after something with those little Chucky-like guys that are running around here. I don't remember what they're called. What are they called? What are these little guys called? Shocky. So the other ones were Chucky. These ones are Shocky. But they basically look like the Chucky dolls from the movies. So we're just going to keep cruising around here, keep taking these guys out. Now, you do have a lot of quests that you can pick up throughout your travels and in the different areas. And the game does a pretty good job of, if you bring up your map, let's actually close that and close our quest log. If you bring up your map, you can see all quest givers and where you finish quests, all inside of the different map. You can also see, here's Meteor Pit. The other place that I could teleport to is Thunder Hill, so I could walk there between the two. Now, I can't click on the map and just move anywhere I want, so that takes a little bit of the ease of moving around, but I can click pretty far away on the map, or on the if it's someplace that I can actually move to. See, I can click pretty far away and actually run way over there. But let's go back to the quest log, and you can take and basically the quests are really well written. They're basically this one is completed, so it's probably the guy that I need to turn into right there on the map. You also got other ones, go back to the house and search for so-and-so. They do a good job of telling you exactly what you need to go and get, what you need to do. So basically, everything I've seen so far in the game is essentially based on some horror movie from the US. Because look at these guys. These basically, they're called Jason, and they look like Jasons from the Friday the 13th movies. Plain and simple. So, pretty funny. And then you've got these werewolves, which look really hilarious. They've got these gigantic tails and little teeny tiny heads with their big old bodies and big old arms. So, I mean, there was definitely some thought process put in, or some thought put into all of these different monsters and the different characters and stuff like that. Let's see if we can get to that area where the where that quest guy is. Let's head up there and see if we can run by these werewolves. You also have boss monsters that you want to that I highly recommend that you save your bursting for, because they can hit really hard. I mean, this guy's actually hitting me pretty hard. You can run away from them and stuff like that. So if you run into any problems, you can run away from monsters. We've got goblins, and you've got goblin mages, all kinds of different monsters all over the place. But like you saw when I was looking in my little guide, there's all kinds of different monsters in there that you can take and pick up and collect in the cards, which is really kind of a cool system. I like having the collectible cards and the pets and stuff like that. So you can hear there's constantly music going on. There's always a soundtrack playing. Doesn't matter where you are. It is pretty catchy. I actually caught myself humming it yesterday after I had played a pretty long session of the game, which, you know, sometimes can happen when you listen to something for several hours. But the music does change up depending upon the area that you're moving to, and depending upon the scenario that you're in. Sometimes when you're fighting, it'll change to a different type of music and stuff like that. Now, this is one thing that I did want to mention. So I'm going down here right now. The game's pathing is actually really well done. So you can see I clicked over there. Now, even it found out really quick, okay, I can't go that way, I can't go that way. It's going to take and it's going to adjust itself and make the adjustments to make the run over to that section. Now, a lot of games would take and it would be very confused, and it would actually just run right in that wall and pretty much put me in a position where I couldn't get over there. But this game does a very good job of setting the pathing and getting you to where you want to go. So I give them a lot of credit for making sure that the pathing was done just right. So let's go ahead and turn in this quest, continue, close. All right, and that's the end of the progress of that quest. Pretty much, you're going to move on to the next area. But I am going to go ahead and call it here. I hope you guys enjoyed today's trip inside the den. Don't forget to subscribe and keep yourself updated as each new episode is released. And don't forget to like and comment and tell us things you know about the game or things that we missed in our review. If you'd like to play or learn more about Bright Shadow, you can read our full review at MMODen.com or just click the link in the description. Till next time, thanks for watching.